As we sang and sat breathing together, I was reminded of a recent moment I spent in this sanctuary. I did plan for this moment, which is why I wrote it down, but in sincerity, I am reminded of a recent moment I spent in this sanctuary, much like today, singing, breathing, and feeling the spirit of this space. You can call me old-fashioned, but sometimes between services, I like to sit quietly in here, letting the energy of the sanctuary wash over me. It's a way of listening deeply and allowing the space to speak to me. This month, we've been reflecting on deep listening, but it's something I think in this community we've been practicing for a long, long time, learning how to listen deeply in the midst of other sounds. We've gathered to listen to nature, to listen to the divine within and to each other, even when those voices challenge us. Not long ago, I spoke about the importance of listening to our neighbors, even when our neighbors are offering perspectives that can be disagreeable to our own, political or otherwise. And so going back to that moment, there I was sitting in silence, contemplating what kind of deep listening feels most relevant to UCT, or at least felt relevant at the time of my planning. And as I sat, I began to sense the energy of the space. And before I knew it, I was walking around the aisles, kind of pacing, humming. And then some of you who know me, that my humming quickly turns to singing and dancing. And then I had to laugh and wondered if someone had saw me on camera during this experience, what would they think? And that thought stayed with me, and I began imagining, what if these walls were watching? And then I started thinking that perhaps they are, not really, no conspiracy kind of theories, but but more so in the way of, what stories would these walls tell? What stories would they tell of what they've witnessed over the 70 years of this church's being? There was an old song from the 80s, If These Walls Could Speak, by Amy Grant, that came to mind. I know some people are like, what you know about that? Yes, I'm an 80s baby. I know about that. And when that song came to mind, I listened to it and I adapted the words into a poem, imagining what these very walls might say. If these walls could speak of things they remember well, couples in love joining week to week, stories and faces dearly held. Rooms full of laughter, children playing hide and seek, hollowed halls from floor to rafter. Ah, if these walls could speak. They would also say, I'm sorry for sometimes being cold, blind, and weak. Like windows, the walls too have a stubborn streak. If these old window panes were eyes, I guess they would have seen it all. Each tear, each sigh, quiet goodbyes, every departing footfall. For every dream we chased and followed after, the walls would say, I owe you more than I could ever repay. If you listened, you'd hear someone who really loves you. Please, don't go away. That's what these walls would say. These are the lyrics of Amy Grant's song, That's What These Walls Would Say. We'll listen to Amy Grant's version of the song later during the offertory, but for now, let's reflect on the spaces we inhabit. Maybe the homes we come from, the places where we gather, the sacred ground beneath this building. What might these spaces, if they could speak, tell us about the love, the sorrow, and the stories they hold? As I sat where you're sitting, meditating on these things, because of the times that we're in, the approach of the upcoming presidential election, I couldn't help but to start thinking about the founders and dreamers who envisioned America as a sanctuary for justice. Now, I know it didn't turn out looking how I think my people, when I say my, I'm referring to people of justice, not just Black people, African Americans, and how that was brought about, but I'm thinking of people who really imagined this new place, this new world as a sanctuary for new ideas. America as a sanctuary for justice, compassion, and love, not just in words. I have to believe that this place was founded with some sense of that energy to carry us forward. So I think about the dreamers who envisioned America as a sanctuary for justice, compassion, and love, not just in words, but in action. And in these moments of reflection, I found myself wondering, what if the walls of the White House could speak? What stories would they share of leaders, decisions, and turning points that have shaped this nation? The White House, like our church, has witnessed moments of joy too, of challenge, and of transformation. Regardless of who occupies its rooms, Republican, Democrat, maybe even an independent someday, the walls, they remain steadfast, sheltering each president and first family, offering a sense of continuity amidst the change. And like the walls of our church, they would have stories of stubbornness and strength, of triumphs and mistakes. As we prepare to vote, I wondered, can we, like these walls, hold steady? Can we listen deeply to the wisdom of this nation's history and the voices calling for justice, equity, and compassion? The walls of the White House, like the walls of this sanctuary, remind us that we are a part of something larger, something that requires us to show up and provide support and participate even when it's challenging. But these walls also invite us to listen more closely, not just to the stories we hear, as was demonstrated by our Time for All Ages, but to those left unsaid. Deep listening is more than hearing words. It's an invitation to pause, reflect, and engage with the wisdom beneath the surface, whether it's the voices of our neighbors, the stirrings of our hearts, or the lessons that history teaches us. When we listen deeply, we understand that the walls surrounding us are not just physical structures. They hold the memories of those who came before us, the work we are doing now, and the future we are building together. These walls contain laughter and tears, the struggles and the dreams yet to come. So, what does it mean to listen as if these walls could speak? It means paying attention to the stories that have shaped us and this community. It means opening ourselves to the possibility of transformation, not just for ourselves, but for the beloved community we hope to create. If these walls could speak, perhaps they would remind us of one simple truth. And these are lyrics to the song that we'll hear. We owe each other more than we could ever repay, in that we owe each other kindness, forgiveness, and love. As the song says, here, there is someone who really loves you. Don't ever go away. What if we lived each day knowing that? What if we understood that the love we offer creates spaces where others feel safe, seen, and valued? As we leave today, I invite you to carry that spirit with you, to listen deeply, not only to the words, but to the unspoken stories in the spaces and the people around you. Let us remember that we are part of something larger, something greater, and may we always be willing to listen, love, and create together. Before we transition to the invitation to generosity and listen to Amy Grant's If These Walls Could Speak from her 1988 live performance, I particularly chose that version because I thought that it was a nice performance. But I want to highlight an announcement that is on the back of your order of service that connects to this message of being a part of something greater and working together to create spaces of love and support. After the service today, we're going to have our monthly GLOW meeting. And GLOW stands for Growing and Leading Ourselves Whole. For those unfamiliar, GLOW is an open space for addressing our community questions, sharing updates from our communities, teams, and congregation as a whole. This is a space where we can listen to one another and help shape our shared future. During GLOW, I am going to introduce an idea for restructuring, or rather relabeling, some of the walls or ways that we organize our church. Over my time as the contract minister, I've been listening deeply to the needs of this congregation and envisioning how we can create systems of sustainability, or walls of support, if you will. I believe that these walls of support will help us live out the mission of this church. Today and later on, and as we think about these things, I'm going to present 6 areas where we'll need more support: Sunday services, religious exploration, community care, justice efforts, administration, and fun community engagement. We'll be looking for volunteers to help these areas thrive. And so as we move into our next moments together, let's hold on to the thought I said earlier that we are part of something greater. And together we can listen, love, and create the future of this community. Thank you.